Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth. It's good to have you. Please consider subscribing and turning on your post notification bell if you are a crafter or just enjoy crafting videos. My goal at the moment is to have 2,000 of you lovely people subscribe to my channel. So please help me to achieve my goal so I can continue to bring you more crafting videos. Today I'm going to be creating the purse pal using my industrial sewing machine. And if you would like to see how I do this, stay tuned. Okay, so I am sewing the purse pal, and this is by Lynn's Handmade. I will link where you can get the pattern in the description. So I've already cut out my material here, and I cut out my exterior fabric using the Cricut because the pattern came with an SVG which I just loaded into my Cricut and I cut. As for the holes, I didn't let my Cricut do that. I marked and punched out these holes myself. So I have my exterior card slot, and I've already put my my label on there, so I'm going to be sewing around this. I've stuck it down with double-sided tape, and I'm using this snakeskin in pink, and I think it's just gorgeous. I really love that. I have my exterior fabric here for my zipper, and this is in plain faux leather. This was also cut on the Cricut, and I did interface this with some non-woven interfacing, and I have added some double-sided tape to the back, ready to attach my zipper. Actually, I forgot to mention that I've also placed, you would have seen it when I flipped it over, but I've placed some double-sided tape. The pattern tells you where to place all these bits of double-sided tape. So I've got my zipper pocket one here with my tape around my zipper, where my zipper is going to be placed, and I have my liner here. This one I cut by hand, and I have also glued down the little flap. It tells you how to cut it out in the pattern. It's really nice and straightforward. The pattern's really you know, great instructions. And actually Lynn has a video out on her channel of how to put these together. Right, I've got my little tab here for my closure, my snap closure, a zipper here, and it gives you the measurements. And for my card slots, I am using ribbon. It just saves me on having to cut out some material. Now I'm hoping this is thin enough to make my card slots so that it's not too bulky. So I bought this ribbon. This ribbon is already 2.5 inches wide, which is what we need to create our card slots. And I also have to fasten my my closure. I've got some metal studs here. Okay, so I'm going to be using these also. Right, so let's begin sewing. So I think I'm going to start off with my zipper. So I need my liner, and you would have seen this liner already. I used it for if you've seen my creating a double-sided strap, you would have seen that I used this on one of the sides of my double-sided strap, and it's just so pretty. Really gorgeous waterproof canvas there. So let's sew our zipper, our zipper. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up. Okay, so I'm going to remove the tape from the back. This is the first time I am sewing this, so bear with me if I go really slowly, but I just thought this was a kind of nice project to show you. Right, so I need to center this. Okay, I'm going to have a look on the back, see if I like that, if that's enough. Now, I don't have enough on that side and I've got too much on this side, so I need to move it over a little. And now I'm going to remove the tape from the bottom and make sure that's stuck down nice and straight like that. Okay, I've also made sure that my zipper pull is to the left, because it's nice when you open it this way to the right, but you can open it the other way if you choose to, but I prefer to go from left to right to open. Right, so that's stuck down. Now I'm going to flip it over, and I need to now stick this on the back, making sure it is centered over that zipper. And in order to do that, I am going to be using spray adhesive. Okay, so I'm just going to be using this. I don't have the what spray is it everyone uses? Is it 505? I don't have that. I've got this. I just need to have this to adhere to the back of the exterior so that I can sew around the zipper. So I'm just going to quickly go and spray this, okay, on the back of this and stick this on. So I'm going to do that off camera and I shall return. Okay, so I have stuck the lining onto the exterior, wrong sides facing, and I've also changed to my zipper foot. So I'm going to now sew around this little rectangle, hoping that I also catch my lining here. If I don't, I'm going to do another row of stitching 1/8 of an inch away from my initial stitch. I'm kind of nervous now because I'm using my zipper foot, which I've never used before. So here we go. So actually I'm going to start this way, and I'm not going to backstitch. I'm going to keep my tails long actually, so pull enough. That is more than enough, and I'm going to tie it off at the back. Okay, my stitch length is at 4. So let's sew. Okay, so I'm just going to tie it off at the back, and it caught my lining. Yes, it caught my lining. I'm so happy. I'm going to show you. Let me just tie this off at the back, and then I will explain why I am so happy. So I'm going to do 4 knots, just because I am extra. So that's 4. I'm going to slip that off. Tie this off. Okay, and I'm just going to zap that with a lighter. Make sure I don't burn my fabric. Okay, lovely. That's done. So I'm really excited, or I'm really pleased I should say, because I managed to catch my liner. And what I've been seeing online is that this was really tricky to do. That's why I explained before I started sewing that if I didn't catch my liner, I would do another row away from my initial stitch so that I caught my liner, which would have given quite a nice finish actually, because you'd have a double row of stitching. But I caught my liner and I am happy. It was a little bit tricky for me here because I don't know, my machine was doing some funny things going over the zipper, but that is done. I'm so happy. I'm really, really happy. You can tell I'm happy. Right, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to, I'm not going to do it now, but we will be folding this, adding some glue and folding this, matching up the edges really, really well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also, you can leave the edges raw. That's why we are using this kind of fabric, so a non-fraying fabric like vinyl, faux leather, leatherette, and that's what this is. So it doesn't fray, so you can leave it raw like this, okay, or you can edge coat it, which is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be edge coating this afterwards. Okay, so that is done and I'm very happy with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I think I might just go ahead and stitch around my snap enclosure. So I'm going to sew around here. I'm going to reduce my stitch length to 3. Okay, so my stitch length is now 3, and I'm just going to sew around this. Right, with this I'm going to, I think I'll back stitch because part of this is going to be hidden inside the bag anyway. So I will be back stitching here. Okay, so that is my snap closure done. I went really slow around this curved area, so I hand cranked it because I'm not confident yet in sewing around such a tight curve on such a small piece of fabric. Even though I've reduced my machine down to the slowest it can go, I'm not confident yet. I am a beginner bag maker, beginner industrial machine user, so I hand cranked around here and I'm pleased with the way it kind of went round. So that is our tab done, and I haven't decided which side yet. I prefer to be on the outside, but that is done. Right, the next thing we're going to tackle is I would like to sew around my name tag here. And my name tag, I've just used the same fabric I used for my zipper exterior. I've used it for my name tag, and I used some HTV which I cut out on the Cricut, and I used this really pretty heat transfer vinyl and just press that on. So I'm gonna sew this down now, and I'm going to be pulling it to the back. Should I keep my zipper foot? That is the question. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my zipper foot, but I think I'm going to change it when I start my card slots, just so that I can get a proper thin and narrow stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to once again tie this off at the back. Okay, so my name tag is on. So now I'm going to deal with the card slots. So I've got my ribbon here, and I'm going to be, this is the right side, wrong side, looks more matte. So I am going to be placing my my ribbon on the bottom slot, right side down of my ribbon, like that. Okay, with my ribbon going upwards. So I'm going to peel off the double-sided tape, stick that down, and then I'm going to flip it over. So let's remove this, like so. Place that down, making sure it's lined up really well. I'm hoping you can see that. So place that down, making sure I'm covering my card slots. Okay, so the battery died, and I just changed the battery. So the last thing I said was I have stuck down my ribbon right sides down onto the first bit of double-sided tape I had on my first slot, and now I'm going to flip it over, making sure my ribbon is to the top. Flip it over, and I'm going to top stitch just underneath. So here is the slit right here, and I'm just going to sew underneath that slit. Just checking the back, make sure it's nice and straight. And then again, I'm not going to back stitch this. I'm going to have my tails and tie it off at the back so it is a neater finish. I like that. And by the way, I've changed my foot back to my regular foot, my cha-cha-cha foot. need to make sure everything is lined up nicely. There we go. And I'm just going to sew across the bottom there, and then take my tails and tie them off at the back. Okay, so that is our first stitch. Okay. Now I'm going to pull the ribbon down like that. I'm going to finger press it. So I'm not going to pull it too much, but I need to pull it taut enough, but not too taut that it leaves that gap like that. Just enough so I can crease it. And then I'm going to pull off this bottom tape here. And bring that down. Making sure it's straight. And then stick that down. Then I'm going to pull this tape off. And then take the ribbon back up. Again, I need to make sure I'm not pulling too hard here, so I'm going to finger press at the bottom here. And then back up. And it's really important that it stays nice and straight. Like that. Okay. Press that down onto the tape. Is it adhered? Yep, it has. Then I'm going to flip it over and stitch my next one underneath again. And once I stitch this, I would have created my first card slot. So flip it over, and then I need to make sure my tails are long, because I'm going to tie it off at the back again. So again, my ribbon is going upwards, and then I'm just going to stitch along the bottom of this slot. Okay, so I've tied it off at the back. Now I need to measure 1/2 inch from the bottom of my folded ribbon here. And now I need to add double-sided tape. So 1/2 inch from this bottom folded bit of the ribbon, and then add your double-sided tape there, which I've done. And just to check if my first card slot is a functioning one, that I've done it correctly, I'm going to test it out, and there you can see it fits in quite nicely. It's not covering that second slot there, and it's poking out just enough for you to be able to take it out easily. So it's going to be pretty much of the same thing. So I'm going to again bring this down, finger press just enough again that I'm not pulling the card slots out of shape. Finger press it. Like that. Try and keep my ribbon nice and straight, like that. And then I'm going to remove this tape that I've just placed and stick down my ribbon. Take off the next tape at the top. Then bring this back up. You need to finger press up here. Make sure this is straight. This bit is quite fiddly. Make sure it's straight. And then stick that down. Make sure it's stuck down properly. Okay, and then we're going to flip it over and stitch again under the next slot. So I'm going to continue doing that off camera because it's pretty much more of the same until I get to the, I'm going to do the final card slot where I sew underneath, and then I'll be back when I reach that very top one. I just wanted to mention actually before I know I said I was going to come back when I do the last one, but I just wanted to mention that after just doing my third sewing underneath my third card slot, it's going to be the same thing again, where I am measuring 1/2 inch from the last folded bit of my ribbon. So there was my first one where I placed down the tape. Okay, now I'm going to measure from this one here, so 1/2 inch from this one, and then place my double-sided tape, and then basically is a repetition. I don't know if I made that clear before, but it's basically going to be doing this over and over again until the whole thing is completed. So I hope you saw that. So measuring from that second folded bit at the bottom of my ribbon and placing some double-sided tape just there, like that. And then it's going to be the same thing where I'm flipping it down and then bringing it back up. So what you've seen before. So I'm just going to continue doing that until I get to the top, and then this time I'll be back to finish off the card slot. Okay, so I've just sewn underneath this last slot at the top, but it is not yet a pocket. It's not yet a pocket, so I need to bring this fabric down again and then go back up. So I need to measure 1/2 inch from this last fold, and this will actually complete the card slots. And that is my last bit of the extra double-sided tape that I cut. So you cut out 5 of these. Let me just make sure that's straight, because sometimes that would drive me crazy. Oh, it's stuck down now. Nothing I can do about it. Okay, right. It's just a little bit, about 1 millimeter off. So get over it, Elizabeth. Get over it. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Right. So now I need to finger press this last slot. I do hope I've got enough ribbon to go back up. But I did cut the required amount, so hopefully I've got enough. Ooh, have I got enough? I might not have enough. Or just about. Oh my goodness. Okay. Right. So we're going to pull this off. I'm nervous now. I do hope I've got enough tape here. Right, this is going to come back down. Making sure it's nice and straight. Back down. Oh my goodness. Please be enough. Please be enough. Folded back up. Oh my gosh. Just about enough. I think if I make this again, I'm going to cut more than enough. Because I've just had about 600 kittens being nervous about whether or not this is enough to stick back up here. Right, so that is down, finger pressed, and then this last bit of tape at the top gets removed. And stuck down. I don't like this fraying this is doing. Okay, it would help if I didn't pull it, right? Snip. Okay, and then we're gonna stick that back down, making sure it's nice and straight. Yes, and it's enough. Hooray! It's enough. Right, I'm just going to snip this little bit off because it's kind of in my seam and I don't want that. I should really use pinking shears so it doesn't fray too much here. Yeah. I'm going to use my pinking shears and just cut some of this ribbon off so it's not in my seam allowance. I don't want it poking through at the end, so I'm just going to pull it back a bit and use my pinking shears. Okay, so I have pinked it a little bit, well, snipped it off with my pinking shears because I didn't want it kind of poking out at the end. Right, let's see if all of the slots work. I might press this as well actually, just so that it's nice and flat, because it's kind of bulky. It's not the thinnest material. For card slots you want a really thin fabric. So first one works because we tested that out. Second one. Lovely. Okay, so that is pretty much the main bit of the Pocket Pal. So we've created the card slots. I'm going to press this off camera, okay, and the next thing we're going to do now is fold this over and glue that together. But before I do that, I need to install my my snap. So I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to fold that over and glue that, and I'm going to be using, let me just grab it wherever it is. 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to be using Fabri-Tac. Got this from Amazon. So I'm going to be putting that along the perimeter, and also, do I need to put some here? Yeah, I think I need to put some in the middle, but you'll see it when I do it. And then we're going to stick it over like that. Okay, I really love this fabric. I will link where I got this fabric from. I got quite a few colours. I got a mustard, I got a teal, a silver. Was there another colour? I forget. Okay, but I've got quite a few colours and it's really nice. I really like it. So we have our slip pocket. We have our zipper pocket, which is also going to be folded and just glued around the perimeter of this. Actually, before I do that, I might just, I think my zipper's okay where it is. Yeah, I think it's fine on both sides. So I will be gluing around this. Is that what I'm doing? I need to check the instructions. But those are the main bits done. And where is my tab? Here's my tab. So that's going to go over this part here, like that, so that our cards are kept in really nicely. And I will be edge coating this, and I'm wondering if I should edge coat it now or after. I'll probably edge coat it all together. But the next step is putting in our snaps and gluing both sides together using Fabri-Tac, and then we're going to put put the purse together. So that's the next thing. Okay, so I have attached my snap to my exterior slip pocket here, so that's the male portion of the snap, and I have also attached the snap to the snap tab, and that's the female version of the snap. Now I need to start gluing these together with my Fabri-Tac, so I'm going to glue this one first. So I just need to go around the perimeter of this Not putting too much on, just a teeny bit, just to hold it together. I'm going to start putting together the corners, match that up really nicely, and then especially this top edge here. That needs to match really nicely. Again, the corners where it angles out, and then the edges. Okay, you probably don't need as many clips, but I like to be cautious. So I'm just going to leave this here to dry a little, and then I'm going to glue the exterior zipper pocket, and doing the same thing, putting glue around the perimeter but not in the middle, and then folding it in half. Right, so we just need to wait for these to set a little. So I'm going to push this to the side and grab my my slip pocket one. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just top stitch here to keep that together. Okay, so I have my 3 parts of my purse here. Now I need to match up my slip pocket to my zipper pocket, and I need to make sure that I match up the top part, so my zipper is down. Okay, I need to match up this top part really well, because my snap is actually going to be folding over, something like that. So if it's uneven, I will not be able to go in and kind of like straighten it up. The other sides are fine. If they happen to be just a little bit uneven, I can, after I've sewn it all together, kind of just straighten it up and slice a little bit away. But the main bit I need to kind of like make sure I line up properly is this top part here. So I'm just going to remove these clips because they kind of, and hopefully the glue has done its job somewhat. So just taking these off. Kind of done its job. I'm going to sew it together now, so hopefully that should be fine. Right, so I'm going to match up this edge first. So this corner, I'm going to match up this corner, clip. Actually, I might use these clips. Okay, now this top part here is crucial. This is the bit I really need to match up really well. It has to be completely even. Do I like that? Yes, I do. Okay, so that is together. What I now need to do is, let me just put one more of these up the top, just here, because I don't think the glue's set properly yet. Right, so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be attaching my snap closure. So I'm going to clip that into place. Make sure it's nice and straight. Just going to remove this clip. Make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, that looks pretty straight. Then I need to tuck it into my zipper pocket. So I need to kind of split my zipper pocket a bit now. This is going to be super fiddly, and I need to put it behind my lining. Okay, I just need to kind of pull this a little bit closer to me so that I can see. Okay, so I've pulled my liner back a bit, and I'm going to tuck it in behind the liner, not in between, because we don't want, sorry about all the background noise, we don't want this showing in our actual pocket, our zipper pocket. Right, so tucking that in, making sure it's straight still. Tuck that in really well. Okay, am I happy with it? Yes. And then I'm going to hold that in place so it doesn't move. We don't want it to move. Okay. Right, so it's holding it in place. Now I can unsnap this, because now I'm going to sew around this 3 edges. Okay, and then our purse is done basically. So I just need to be careful that this doesn't, my snap doesn't shift out of place. Yep. Okay. Okay, so it is sewn together. It's done. So this could be the end of the purse. So we have our zip pocket here. Okay, this would be good for like coins or anything like that. And then we have a little slip pocket here. Might be good for like receipts. What else? Maybe some notes. And here, good for your cards. That's it. I think this is really such a really nice, neat little project, and you just slip that into your bag. Right, what I'm going to do to finish this off now is, I pretty much like my edges. They look good, but I may just trim it off a little bit, because yeah, this is going to bother me where it kind of goes a little bit wider outwards. So I'm going to trim that. This edge is good, and so is the other edge. It's just here where it kind of went a little bit funny. So I'm just going to trim that, and then I'm going to edge coat this, because I would prefer it if it wasn't this color here. So I'm going to edge coat it with black. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how I do that. So I'm just going to trim this bit off, and I'll be back. So for my edge coat, I'm going to be using this edge coat, which is by Uniters. Okay, so I've got a black here, a matte black, and I've also got a natural filler, which I'm going to be using first. Actually, let me not shake it. You're not supposed to shake it, you're supposed to stir it. Right, so I've got a little plastic container here, which I'm going to be putting a small amount of each product in, because I don't want to dip my tool. So I'm going to be using this edging tool, which I got from, where did I get this from? This is from Amazon. Okay, I'll link it in the description anyway, and I'll also link where I got this product from also. So I'm going to be pouring a little bit of this in there, remembering not to shake it. It is not like how James Bond likes his martini. We want to stir it, not shake it. So it actually has a stopper here, which you probably can remove, but I'm going to leave it on. I'm just going to put a little bit of the product in here, in a little container, and add as I go. If I need some more, then I'll add a little bit more. So this is going to be my first kind of like layer, almost like my base layer. And because I've got so many kind of like different layers of fabric here, I want to make sure that it's combined so it looks as one. So I'm going to be using this end of my tool. Let me give it a little stir. Okay, and I'm just going to start to roll that on. So this tip here actually rolls, so I'm just gonna keep applying it, and depending on how it looks, I may do, I don't know, I'm gonna do at least two layers of this filler. At least 2 layers. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and then I'm going to wait for it to dry. It needs to dry in between layers, so this is actually going to be a little bit of a long process. So I'm just going to start it off. I don't want to apply too much so it doesn't drip all over the place, but I'm going to keep applying this all around the raw edge. Wait for it to dry, at least 30 minutes in between coats, and then I will definitely be doing a second coat. I won't do that on camera, I'll do it off camera, and depending on how many coats I do, I will let you know. Depends on how I like what I see. It may be more than 2 coats, I don't know at the moment. but I can assure you it will not just be this one coat that I'm doing. Okay, so I have done 2 coats around the edge here, 2 coats of the filler. I'm just going to sand just ever so slightly, a light sand. This is some fine 120. This is as fine as I have indoors anyway, just to get rid of some of the kind of like bumps and make it a little bit smoother, where maybe I've applied too much of the filler, just to make it a little bit more smooth, ready for the actual paint. Okay, hopefully that's nice and smooth. Smooth enough anyway. Right, now I'm going to use my edge paint. And again, I'm going to put it into a little container. Hopefully that's enough, and if it's not, I'll just put some more in there. Saves it from being really messy. So again, I'm just going to dip my roller in. Okay, so this is what the edge is looking like so far. So I'm going to do another coat. I'm going to finish this coat and probably do or more than likely do another coat of the black paint. If I do a third, I will let you know, but so far I'm just going to do 2 coats of the black, and I'll show you once that is done. Okay, so I have completed the edge coat for the Purse Pal. Not the best edge coating. I mean, this is kind of like the first time I'm actually using it on a whole piece like this. I've done smaller pieces before like this, but this is the first time I'm using it on the edge. It's okay, it's not the best, but it's fine. Okay, so I did how many coats? Of the filler, I did 2 coats, if I remember rightly. Yes, 2 coats of the filler, and I actually did 3 coats of the edge coat, the black edge coat. So that is it. So that is a Purse Pal. I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. I think it's super cute. I love the fabric that I used. I love that I used the snake skin in contrast with this kind of like plain, you can see my little whoopsie there, in contrast with this plain vinyl here, and I just love it. I love it a lot. So if you found this video interesting or useful, please like and subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and turn on your post notification bell, and make sure you check all so you never miss an upload from me. Please feel free to interact with the comment section by leaving any comments, questions, or any suggestions about any videos that I should do in the comment section below. You're also welcome to join our Facebook group. It's Craft Junkie Studio, and I will leave the link in the description box below. And as always, don't have a good day, have an amazing day. Till next time, bye.